Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Kyle Manley, one of the undergraduate academic advisors here in the robotics department. Glad to see all of your amazing faces here today. So we are here at the Pathway Series, and thank you for those who are joining with us virtually today. So this is a series that's designed to kind of expose students who are in robotics or thinking of robotics-like fields to kind of some of the industries that are out there. This is a very special pathways because instead of specifically bringing a business in, we're bringing in an amazing campus resource that can help students kind of bridge the gap of what they want to do and make that an actual reality. So we have this amazing speaker here today, Jasmine Jaggers, who's going to kind of tell us a little bit more about what's here to offer. But just to let everyone know, we will be offering this both in person and virtual. And so the event itself will start off as a small presentation to give you guys a better understanding of what Zell Lurie has to offer, and then also open the floor afterwards for questions and Q&A. I'm pretty sure that Jasmine might ask you to interact with her, so please do so. For those who are tuning in virtually, I'll be monitoring the chat, and so if you have any questions, I will be your avatar in the space to get those questions answered. Afterwards, we're going to go into a small networking event, and so for those who are here in person, there'll be some food and refreshments, and then give you an opportunity to talk with Jasmine directly. So that is all that's going to happen today, but if you have any questions, again, please do not feel shy about asking those. We have a lot of great content that I know that we're going to get tonight. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to our speaker for these.
Well, thank you, Kyle, and thank you for having me today. I'm really excited to meet you all and talk to you more about what we do at the Zell Lurie Institute for Entrepreneurship. So I did get a question about this earlier. We are located in the Ross School of Business. However, we do work with students across all schools and colleges. So whether you're interested in learning about starting your own company, learning how to invest in companies, or even lead at organizations, we have the tools and resources for you to tap into all of those opportunities. So just an overview of what we'll be covering today. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what we do at ZLI, the 3 buckets of programs we offer, which are starting ventures, investing in ventures, and also leading at those organizations. And then I will share with you our team at the end. And then if you have any questions about anything, feel free to raise your hand or just let me know, and I'm happy to take a pause and answer questions you have. All right, so our purpose at ZLI is to unlock opportunity. I know it's very broad, but essentially our goal here is to help you kind of figure out what you're passionate about and what you're interested in exploring, and help you get access to those opportunities. So like I mentioned before, we do have 3 buckets of programs, and if you're starting a venture, we want to help you navigate what it's like to build a company from the ground up. Or if you're looking to enhance your leadership skills, we have opportunities for you to do that as well. And so our mission at ZLI is to build a better world by inspiring our students as well as alumni to embrace an entrepreneurial mindset, and also give you the skills and resources you need to succeed. So this data is from 2024 to 2025, but we've had over 250 founders in our programs over the past year alone. We also have student-led venture funds, which I'll cover briefly in the presentation, but we have 5 total funds and over 150 members in those funds. And then in terms of amounts awarded over the past year, we award grant funding. We also have internship funding. We also award investment funding to some of the startups who are in our fund. So that's the amount of money that we gave away in just 1 year alone. And so our hope is that if you go through our programs, you could potentially be a recipient of some of those funds. And so for the past 10 years, we have been globally ranked in the top 10. In 2025, we were ranked number 3 for graduate programs, number 5 for MBA, and number 6 for undergrad. And so if you get to engage with us, you'll get to tap into a wide network of individuals who are very experienced in entrepreneurship in VC. And these are the people who are the reason we're ranked globally across the world. So as I mentioned, we have 3 buckets of programs: starting a company, investing in companies, and then leading organizations. I'm going to be walking you through specific programs that we have going on. I'm not going to be able to cover everything because there is a lot of opportunities, but like I mentioned, if you have questions or want to learn more, you're welcome to connect with me after the fact, and also other members of our team. All right, so our start opportunities, we have a lot of them. So if you're curious about entrepreneurship in general, but you're not sure where to start, we have a few different programs. We do have a 10,000 pitches competition, which ran for the first time last year, where we invite students who are just ideating on a business idea. It could be at any stage, any type of idea. You could pitch and win funding for your pitch. We also have a Moonshot Speaker Series. So this is where we bring in very high-level executives who have, successfully launched their organizations or successfully run very great, very important VC firms, and they talk to you about their experience. You can ask them questions about how they got to where they are. In addition to that, we do have a workshop called Innovators Toolkit. So if you have an idea or you're just looking to get started, but you're not sure, how to come up with an idea, this is a really great resource for you. You can request that workshop from our team, and we're happy to lead one for you. In addition to that, we do have networking opportunities, which I'll cover later in the presentation, but our Mingle and Match series is for students who are entrepreneurial minded to connect with each other on campus. So whether you're looking to form a team or join a team, that's a great way for you to connect with other students. And then every fall, we do have an entrepreneurship and innovation resource fair. So as you can imagine, there's a ton of opportunities on campus. We are one resource for you, but there's so many other things that you could tap into while you're at U of M. And so that event is to help you kind of navigate the ecosystem and see what your options are. And then we also have office hours as well. If you're a little bit more serious, like maybe you have an idea, but you're just not sure like where to get started, we do have grant funding through our Dare a Dream program. Office hours with our entrepreneurs in residence is another resource for you. And then we also offer workshops every semester, so you can, hear from real entrepreneurs and real venture capitalists about their experience, or you might learn a new skill in those sessions. And then we do have a healthcare accelerator, and I'll cover this in more detail in a second. But if you are interested in the healthcare space, we do offer that program. If you're a little bit further along, we do offer the Michigan Business Challenge, which is a campus-wide competition. We award over $200,000 in funding every year to students in that program. So highly recommend if you are working on something that you're passionate about, that's a really great way to get funding. We also have a summer student accelerator, which I will cover, but that's designed for students who are building something and they'd like to get funding to work on that over the summer. And then we also still have grant funding through Dare a Dream and the Pinker Accelerator. And then the last tier is our, you're looking to launch and you have, you just need support to get there. We offer the Zell Entrepreneurs Program, which is an elite program for students in the final year of their degree program. We also have what's called the Startup Studio, which is for founders who are looking to essentially build their products. Usually it's non-technical founders, but technical founders are welcome to join that as well. And then we also offer intercollegiate competitions. So I will go into detail. Oh, we have more. All right, if you're looking to scale. We do have an alumni accelerator called the Decide Accelerator. And this is, once you've graduated, you're working on your company and you're looking for funding and additional support. That's an excellent program. And then we also have the Founders Fund, which is specifically for alumni founders who are looking for, those like pre-seed investments. And then the last two Startup Studio programs are called Zell for Technologies, which is where we bring in UI UX designers to help you improve the user experience of your platform or your app. And then we also have a customer acquisition program. All right, so that was a lot of information. I'm going to go over these individually, and if you have any questions, please let me know. So this Moonshot Speaker Series, I briefly described. This is where we're bringing in like very high-level executives. So pictured here is Jeff Lawson, who was the former CEO of Twilio, and he came in and met with our students to talk about his journey and as a founder. And he actually created his own incubator called the Founders Garage in San Francisco, and our team took a group of students to connect with him through another experience, which I'll mention. But these sessions usually happen in the fall, typically in person, and you can just come hear from these incredible founders and their journeys and just, take it all in. Any questions about this opportunity? No? Okay. All right, so Launch and Learns. So these are a little bit more intimate. These are either workshops or events where we bring in entrepreneurs or investors who have successfully developed their careers over the past decade or so. Usually for these sessions, there is like some sort of skill set or some sort of topic that you're focused on. So these are some of our previous topics we've done. So like if you're curious about product management as a career, if you're a founder looking for what investors want to understand, when they're making investment decisions, we've had sessions on that. Also, if you're looking to spot opportunities in emerging tech, etc. We usually, host some of these like they're usually different topics every fall and winter, so you can kind of figure out which topics you're most interested in and attend those that you're curious about. I will have some information about the ones we have coming up, so if there's any that pique your interest, I highly recommend coming to those. Any questions about these? No? All right. Next, mingle and match. All of you should come to these. So these are networking opportunities for you to connect with other students on campus who are builders, who are curious about starting a team or joining a team. If you do have a venture idea, you're welcome to pitch that idea at the event and then hopefully recruit people to join you. Otherwise, if you don't have an idea, this is a great way to join a team that's already formed. We do have an event coming up next month. I highly recommend coming. It will be at the Ross School of Business at 5 p.m. So if you're interested, recommend RSVPing. Otherwise, you can definitely RSVP later if you sign up for our newsletter. All right, Dare a Dream program. So this is a funding opportunity. There are 3 phases of this program. Each phase is a semester long, and you can apply either in the fall or the winter semester. And so the goal of this program is to help you build your venture from the ground up. So you just start with a problem that you want to solve. You can be a solo founder or work in a team. And so what our team will do is we'll work with you over the course of the semester. You'll attend workshops to understand your problem that you're solving more deeply. You'll also complete a deliverable that you will submit for funding at the end of the term. And so this is great if you have never maybe started a company before and you're looking to be held accountable and get the resources you need to successfully build your venture from the ground up. And as I mentioned, there's 3 phases. So each phase, you're getting more funding for your company. So phase 1, you would start with $300. Phase 2 is $1,500, and the last phase is $5,000. Any questions about this program?
What were the amounts you said?
Yeah, so it starts with $300 in phase 1, and then phase 2 you receive $1,500, and the last phase is $5,000. We do offer more funding opportunities as well, but this is like a great starting point if you're, just trying to understand the fundamentals of starting a company. And then I mentioned previously the Michigan Business Challenge. So our funding actually went up this year, but we award over $200,000 in cash prizes for this program. It's a 4-round business competition. So you would be competing against other founders in a specific track, and those tracks are innovation, invention, and impact. And so you'll go through the competition, you'll pitch your idea for a longer duration at each round. And so you'll actually be given feedback by real entrepreneurs and investors who have been in your shoes, who kind of know the ins and outs of what makes for a good company. And we've had some really successful founders go through this program and go off to intercollegiate competitions and get a lot of money from those as well. I don't know if any of you are familiar with Intero Biosystems, but they actually won the Michigan Business Challenge. I think it was the innovation track this past year, and they went to several intercollegiate competitions and received almost $1 million in funding through those. So that could be you someday. If you're interested in getting funding for your company, this is a really great avenue to do so. And in terms of when this competition runs, usually the applications are due in late October every year, and then the competition ends in February. So there's like a round every month that you would participate in. Any questions about this opportunity?
I have a general question.
Yeah.
How much of these opportunities are undergrad versus grad?
All of them are open to everyone. Yeah. I can't give you the split of like who's participated in what, but it's open to everyone, every single program that we'll talk about. Yeah. All right, and then the healthcare accelerator. So this is kind of similar to that Dare a Dream program I mentioned. There are 3 phases or stages, however you'd like to call them, but there's vision, test, and launch. So if you just have an idea in the healthcare space and you're not sure where to get started, this is a great program to kind of test your idea and just get support along the way. So you would meet weekly as a cohort and talk about your progress to date, any roadblocks you might be facing. We do offer funding as well through this program, and it's dependent on what specifically you need the funding for. But we also host a demo day every semester, so you get to connect with the advisors on the Healthcare Accelerator board, and they'll give you feedback on your company and answer any questions that you might have about next steps. But this is a really great opportunity for those of you who want to pursue healthcare-related ventures. Any questions about this? Yeah.
When they say healthcare related, what does that What does that encompass?
That's a great question. And this isn't my program, so I don't want to misspeak, but I would just say anything related to solving an issue that's healthcare related. So if it's like, it could be mental health, it could be physical well-being, like it just, I think it's depending on what you're passionate about. Do you have like a specific idea in mind or?
Yeah, I don't know if things more on like hospital operations.
Yeah,
side
that
of
would
things,
that would
but-
definitely qualify for sure. Any other questions? Nope. All right, and now this program, this is great if you are working on a venture idea. A lot of our students who've gone through the Michigan Business Challenge and also the Dare Dream program also apply to this program. But what's great about it is it's entirely self-led. So what you do is you apply to participate, and if you are accepted, you'll be part of a cohort of students who are also working on their own companies. You also get $10,000 in funding just to work on your venture full time. And so you get the freedom of deciding what your goals are for the summer, and our team is there to help you reach those goals. And in addition to that, we also added like an advisor component. So we do recruit someone who either has experience, working in your specific industry, or they've built something similar in the past, and they will meet with you over the course of the summer to help you, save time as you're building your company because they've been in your shoes and know, they've made some mistakes and they can help you not make those same mistakes. And then we also hire a part-time intern to help you on project work. So if you're needing help with market research or financial modeling or, some things that you might not have the time to do, that person's there to help you, with those projects. And so we are accepting applications. If you're curious about this program, you can apply until Monday, March 16th. Even if you're earlier stage, I would say that's okay. We have taken some founders who are earlier stage, but if you have a lot of knowledge about the problem that you're working on, that usually sets you up for, being a good member of the cohort. So highly recommend applying if any of you want to work on your venture. Yeah, go ahead.
It says student accelerator. What about recently graduated people? Like if I'm graduating this semester, would that?
Yeah, so technically you would not be eligible. However, that Decide Accelerator I mentioned, you could definitely apply. The application's just closed, but for next year, that would be another opportunity for you. And I'll talk about some alumni opportunities briefly in the presentation. Any other questions? All right, and then our startup studio, this is open to current students and alums. So there's 3 sets of programs. So there's the MVP program, which is essentially to help you build your MVP from scratch. So what we do is we provide funding for you to hire a developer to build your platform. And you'll also learn about like what it takes to build a product from the ground up if you're, not as experienced in that. For people who already have customers, but they're, trying to make improvements to their platform, we do offer the Zell for Technologies program where we bring in a designer who can help you improve that UI UX experience on your platform. And so all of these programs are 12 weeks and they're entirely virtual. So if you're not local to Michigan, that's totally fine. If you're about to graduate, you could participate in these as well. And then the last program we have, if you already have customers, but you're looking to improve your customer acquisition techniques and get more, we do have another program available to you for those of you who want to like increase your revenue. I know these are 3 separate programs. So does anyone have any questions about any of them? Very self-explanatory. All right, cool. All right, and then I mentioned too the Zell Entrepreneurs program. So I would say like a lot of the programs I've mentioned previously kind of culminate into someone being a good fit for Zell Entrepreneurs. You do not have to go through other programs to be eligible for this one, but going through other programs does set you up for success to participate in this opportunity. It's a cohort-based program. There's actually 2 tracks. There's an entrepreneurship through acquisition track, as well as a founder track. So if you're looking to work on your venture and get the resources to, kind of accelerate your growth, this is an excellent opportunity. We award up to $10,000 in funding for you to work on your company. So you just send us a budget, tell us what the funds are being used for, and we'll give you the funds so you can implement that. And then the meetings are every Friday in the morning. And so you get to connect with other students who are building companies. But not only that, you'll connect with, different speakers. So people who are, investors or people who can kind of help you think about your product in a new way, or think about how you could price your product so that you can acquire or get more revenue. It just depends on the week, but it's an excellent opportunity. There's also international and domestic travel as well. So if you are curious about entrepreneurship, outside of Ann Arbor, we do take the students to Detroit to connect with some startups in that ecosystem. And then historically, we've taken students to Israel because we do have 2 sister schools, one in Tel Aviv and one at Northwestern Kela. The past couple of years, we haven't been able to go. So we've gone to Singapore and Dubai. And so you get to spend a week there and just, meet with other entrepreneurs and, see the different ecosystems across the globe. Any questions about this program? No? All right. You can ask questions at the end too. All right, so that was our last START program. So I'm going to talk briefly about our investment opportunities. So Launch and Learns, and we do have investment office hours as well. And then the Michigan Investment Challenge, if you're curious about like the flip side of the Michigan Business Challenge, this is a great kind of window into what it takes to be a VC and what they're looking for in startups. And then if you're looking to invest real dollars, we do have student-led venture funds, which I will cover in just a second. So the Michigan Investment Challenge is an awesome opportunity. It's a 2-round competition where you're working in small teams, usually of 4 to 5, and you're essentially acting as a VC. You're going to be conducting due diligence. You're going to be interviewing startups. You're going to be, understanding from an investor perspective, like what it takes to be a successful company. And in the competition, you'll actually present an investment thesis to a group of real VCs. They're usually local to Ann Arbor, but they've been in the business for years. And so you'll present, of the startups that you were given, which one you think is the strongest or the best investment decision. And if you win the Michigan Investment Challenge, you'll get to represent us at the regional level. Pictured here is our graduate team from 2025. They actually won the global finals last year. And so even if you have no investment experience, this is a really great opportunity. We do have workshops, so we teach you what it takes to think like a VC and prepare for the competition. And so we actually had, I think it was a freshman team back in 2023, they won the global finals as well. So anyone, whether you have experience or not, is like welcome to apply and participate. You can have your own team, or you can, we can help you figure out like what team to join. But it's an amazing opportunity if you want to know the investor mindset. And then we do have student-led funds. We have 5 total. I will say, some of you might already know this, but there are funds outside of ZLI. So if you are not able to participate in any of our opportunities, there are other ways to get that investor mindset too. But for the most part, most of you will be eligible for the Wolverine Venture Fund. If you are graduating, well, let me say this. If you're returning to your studies, I think it's fall 2028, then you'd be eligible. If not, like I mentioned, like the Michigan Investment Challenge is another great way to get that experience. But if you're an undergraduate student, you just need to be here for 2 years, and you could participate in the Social Venture Fund or the Zell Lurie Commercialization Fund. And then if any of you are curious about these opportunities, just reach out to ZLI Funds info@umich.edu. And they can answer your questions. Usually there's an info session every year where they go over, every specific fund and what they invest in. Any questions about the student-led venture funds? Okay. All right, so next is the lead category, almost done. So for those of you who are curious about entrepreneurship as like a career path or investment as a career path, we do offer the Silicon Valley track, which I'll cover. We also have an innovation week that we sponsor with a club called Design Plus Business. And then we do have a platform called the Wolverine Entrepreneurship Hub. If you're looking to, see what it's like to work at a startup or VC firm, we do offer internship funding, which I will talk about in a second. And then I mentioned the Decide Accelerator earlier. So we do offer internship opportunities as well through that. And then we do have a product innovation program if you're curious about product management as a career path. And then if you're looking to lead at one of these organizations, I did mention Zell Entrepreneurs briefly, but we do offer a Foundry track as well. And I briefly mentioned the ETA track, which is for students who are curious about acquiring a venture when they graduate. All right, so the Wolverine Entrepreneurship Hub, everyone should sign up for this. It's entirely free to join. But this is a platform for those of you who want to connect with other entrepreneurial students on campus or alumni on campus or alumni who are affiliated with U of M. There's, a mentorship program. There's different events that we post about. If you're just looking for resources and guidance, this is a really great way to get that for free. All you have to do is request an account and you'll be approved just with that UMich email. So I just wanted to highlight that. And also, it's open to everyone. So you can connect with people that you might not have been able to connect with during your time on campus. So just highly recommend signing up for that. And then next is Silicon Valley track. So I'm a little biased. This is my favorite program. But this track is where we bring a group of usually 12 or so students to connect with our incredible alumni network in the Bay Area. And it's all expenses paid. You get to spend an entire week just hearing from some of the most brilliant minds, who are working at some very notable startups and VC firms. And so we recruit all across campus. So we recruit, business students, engineering students, information students, everyone's welcome. And I think what's really amazing about this program is not only hearing from these alumni who have been in your shoes maybe 2 decades ago, and now they're successfully leading organizations, but you also get to meet some really incredible students who you might not have met if you hadn't participated on the track. And so highly recommend applying if you're returning to your studies in fall 2028, I believe. But yeah, this program runs in early May, so you can participate before if you have an internship coming up. And then next is our product innovation program. So this is a virtual program. So if you're just interested in product management as a career path, we do take you through the fundamentals of starting a product from scratch. You work in teams, usually, recruiting across campus because we want to get, different skill sets, of course, but everyone on the team is essentially a product manager. And so you're going to learn about, customer discovery and what your customer pain points are, how to define a minimum viable product, do comparable product research. It's a 12-week program, and so every week, you're learning a new topic, you're assigned a deliverable to complete, and then you'll present that at the next meeting. And at the end of the program, you'll actually present a real product to a group of PMs who have, worked at companies like OpenTable and I'm thinking Adobe and Amazon as well, so you can get their feedback. And hopefully our goal with this program is that you're able to take this skill set and hopefully become a PM when you graduate, if that's if that's what you'd like to pursue, or take this into like a corporate job and work in a corporate innovation lab if you're interested in that. All right, now internship funding. This is actually available now, and I'll have a slide in just a second if you'd like to learn more. But we do award funding to over 20 students every year to work at startups and VC firms. So if you're looking for an internship right now, this is a really great resource for you. You can develop that entrepreneurial mindset, work at a specific company that you're really passionate about, and then hopefully have an amazing experience. And all of the funding you can apply to, working at a company in Michigan or outside of Michigan, it does not matter. We do have company-driven and student-driven options. So company-driven is more like traditional internships. So these are opportunities that our team sources. But if you find your own startup or VC firm you'd like to work for, you can also apply for funding and, hopefully get approved for that. And then we do have a career fair coming up next week. So if you're looking to connect with some local companies, that's a great way to do so. And then I have all these QR codes here if you'd like to take a screenshot. But these are our company-driven internships. You can apply those directly. If you source your own internship opportunity, that's the second QR code, and you can apply for funding. And then if you'd like to attend our career fair next week, we'll have a virtual option and an in-person option as well. All right, I think I'm almost done. So next is the Sci Accelerator. So this is just the internship component of that. So this is, for students who want to work for startups that are in the U of M ecosystem. We usually accept about 5 alumni to work at, to go through this program. And the students in the program will get to work on projects for those companies. So you'll get to work in a cohort of other students, from other schools and colleges. You'll be assigned different projects and you'll get to own those projects over the summer. And so it's a great way to just, make some lifelong friends, but also work on project work that's really impactful to the companies that are going through that program. All right, and I'm going to briefly talk about this, but we do have a Foundry path for the Zell Entrepreneurs program. That's typically for students who are looking to work as a CEO of a company once they graduate. If you're curious about this, I can give you my colleague's info because he oversees that program, but just wanted to highlight that if any of you are curious about what it's like to be a CEO at a company through the innovation partnerships, like portfolio companies. All right, I'm done with those student programs and I just have some alumni programs I'll highlight. So yeah, there's a ton of alumni resources too once you graduate. So we do have an alumni summit every fall, or every summer now, where we bring in entrepreneurs and and innovators together for a 1 to 2 day experience. So you'll attend workshops and sessions. You'll get to bond with other people. What's great about the program is like we've had recent alums and people who have graduated 5, 10, 20 years ago, and so you get to connect with those individuals in a meaningful way. We also have ZAM pods or Zell Alumni Masterminds. So this is where you're connecting in small groups. You usually have 3, and you all kind of have like a similar topic that you're addressing. So you're potentially maybe all interested in like, let's say investing, and you've never invested before. So you kind of all meet once a month to talk about how you're building that investor mindset, any resources that you're tapping into that you can share with the group, etc. And then for those of you who are working on a venture, we do have an alumni pitch competition every year. And then I mentioned the Startup Studio before. And then lastly, that Decide Accelerator. If you are working on your own company, we do offer funding through that program. It's 4 months long. And you also get to be part of a cohort of alumni founders. And then if you're looking for investment opportunities, we do offer investments to founders in that program. All right, I am almost done. So we do have a quick success story we'd like to cover. I don't know if any of you are familiar with Morning Brew, but they created this successful newsletter that got partially acquired by Business Insider. But the founders, Austin and Alex, they went through several ZLI programs. I'm sure they did more across campus as well. But the programs that they kind of started with was that Dare a Dream program I highlighted earlier. They then transitioned to Zell Entrepreneurs, which is our more prestigious program, and they also competed in the Michigan Business Challenge. And then lastly, they got a Founders Fund investment from one of our funds. And so they, really tapped into those resources at ZLI to, kind of springboard them into success and, make Morning Brew the success it is today. So I just want to quickly highlight our team here. So I work on our student programs team. I'm pictured right here. But we have a ton of different people on our team that could help you navigate the resources I just spoke about. I highly recommend, I'll have this on a slide later, but just signing up for office hours with us so you can kind of understand which programs make the most sense for you to try out and figure out like what's the best path for you to pursue. But yeah, we're all really happy to help you and figure out what next steps you should take and be a part of your entrepreneurial journey while you're at Michigan. All right, so lastly, I do have a few events coming up I just want to highlight. We do have an event tomorrow where we're bringing a founder who's James Norman. He actually co-founded Pilotly. I'm not sure if any of you are familiar with that, but he'll be speaking tomorrow via virtual session if you're available. And then we have a few other sessions coming up. If any of you are interested in like social impact ventures or getting people to act offline, instead of just online, this is a really great session on Monday. That'll be in person. And then we also have another session if you're curious about what's like to, acquire a venture and what financial options you have for that. All right, that is all I have. I know that was a lot of information. So happy to answer any questions, but before I do have Julius joining me today. I'm very happy he's here. So Julius is actually a current robotics student, and he's done one of our programs at ZLI. So I thought it'd be nice for you to hear from him about his experience with us. So my first question for you, Julius, is how did you discover opportunities at ZLI?
Yeah, so my name is Julius. I'm a robotics grad student, and I also did my undergrad here. So probably a familiar face, but how I discovered ZLI. ZLI really has a good website, which is not to be said about every program at Michigan, but robotics has a good one, and ZLI has a good one. So there's a lot of resources you can find on there. They have a lot of updated events, so that's kind of how I discovered it. I think there's a newsletter I think you could probably sign up for that I'm signed up to, and there's a lot of opportunities, Canvas sites, and many different resources that you can tap into. So would recommend checking it out.
Thank you. All right, I have another question. So I know you participated in the Michigan Business Challenge. So what was that experience like for you?
Yeah, so my team participated in the Michigan Business Challenge, which was highlighted earlier. It's like a 4-round pitch competition, and it happens over the span of 3 months, I would say. So you apply, or we applied in actually November, December, and that round includes essays, and then you have to do like a pitch video, like a 1-minute pitch. It's like an elevator pitch, basically, of your company. And then you go from there. There's multiple ones, and so we were fortunate to make it through some of those rounds. Not until the end though, but it was really exciting though because you get to pitch to actual founders that are, they have all sorts of different experiences. I think one of my judges was a former YC founder, and that was really cool to get feedback from. So really insightful mentors that you get connected to and get feedback from. So I think that was really insightful.
Thank you. And my last question for you is, what advice would you give other students who are exploring entrepreneurial offerings, either at ZLI or on campus?
Honestly, I do wish that we had in robotics maybe some sort of a group chat where entrepreneurs or people that are interested in entrepreneurship could connect, because I think, obviously robotics is just getting started, and I feel like there's so many people in here that might have an idea, but it's hard to get to. So I would recommend just talking to your peers and seeing, what are the interests out there, because I'm always interested in joining a team. So yeah, anyone, just connect, I guess, networking.
Great. All right, well, that's all the information I prepared today. Does anyone have any follow-up questions for me?